that's a good thing for the product. Jeff has the experience and he's in great shape. So he can certainly help him in that realm. But again, if they let Jeff Jarrett be Jeff Jarrett, that's the big. There's all these big questions, right? That's the question. Or are they going to make him Double J? The entity that he was before. And my experience in WWE, from an outsider looking in, is that they have this desire to put you into that straitjacket that they see you as being, as opposed to playing off your strengths as you know them. And, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with Jeff. Jeff's a lot more astute, I think, now than he was when he's a lot older. Has the experience of having run his own company with TNA and, try to get Global Force started. So there's a lot at work there and a lot at play. But, again, I think the AEW has just really created a vastly different landscape. I wonder if Double J would be there right now if it weren't for AEW. It's one of those, only Vince knows the answer to that, I guess. But it certainly seems like from the WWE that we've seen for the last several years, seems like an oddity, to have Jeff Jarrett back there. But no doubt I have that he could help them and the things they need. He's exactly what they've been lacking. The seasoned veteran, the experienced pro that can take that and divulge that to the younger guys in the dressing room, which I think has been, as we've talked about for the last 2 years on this podcast, what has been lacking from their younger talent. It's not a slap at them. It's like they're not athletic enough or they're not as good. This is a very difficult industry to pick up. And there's no manual out there written, chapter 1, taking bumps, chapter 2, doing this, chapter 3. It's purely done in the ring. And it's an industry where the largesse of the industry has been handed down by those that know it, to those that don't. For the last how many years, you haven't seen that in WWE. That's been the one thing that's been lacking in their product. So Jeff Jarrett can be a huge asset to WWE right now. No matter how many pros you have coming in and veterans you have coming into the Performance Center, sitting and doing something in the gym is very different than doing it in front of an arena full, or now, 40% full, 45% full. It's very different. It's a very different universe. That's where you learn. You can learn the perfunctory stuff in the Performance Center, but you can't learn those nuanceical seasonings that make a seasoned veteran. That takes place in front of a live audience, and it includes making mistakes. We've talked ad nauseum about, the teleprompters and the scripts and all of that. That precludes all that. That exempts all that. It takes all that out of the equation. So, if they allow Jeff Jarrett to be Jeff Jarrett and go in and deliver what Jeff Jarrett can do, and then to disseminate what Jeff Jarrett knows to the younger talent, he can be a huge asset. But if they just plug Jeff into that WWE model, my guess would be that he'll be getting a paycheck, and that's about it.
Yeah, he was like a hybrid mix. First at the Rumble, he comes out in the Double J flashy hat with the male stripper, attire with the, what I don't know what you would call them, the frillies or whatever the hell they are, those straps across the top of his tights. But then the next night, and he gets completely, he kind of gets, not humiliated, but I mean, they dump him out in relatively 30 seconds. So the next night...
Which I'm sure he was heartbroken over.
Yeah, exactly. But I bet you the rib was that he came out as Double J that night, because then the following 2 weeks that he's now been on TV, he's been like the slapnuts Jeff Jarrett with those catchphrases and the sunglasses and more of that look, but still using, the Double J Jeff Jarrett moniker and theme music, which is where Vince likes to kind of interject his take on the Jeff Jarrett character.
Yeah. Well, again, it'd be interesting to see how it plays out. This is not going to be a thing you're going to see the results of in 2 weeks or 4. It's going to be the kind of thing you're going to, next year at this time we'll have to, make the assessment as to have they allowed him to beat Jeff Jarrett and to disseminate that experience to the younger talent, which would be my guess is why he's there. But like I've said how many times on this show, every time I thought I had Vince figured out, he does something else that makes you scratch your head even more. So it'll be interesting to see. But if they allow Jeff Jarrett to be Jeff Jarrett and to disseminate that experience that he has to that younger crew, that's what that younger crew desperately needs up there.